Live from Rapid City, Post 22 Baseball is on the air. It is the Firecracker Championship Showdown, a highly anticipated rematch. The marquee game that we have been waiting just about a week for, and it's a rematch between Wayne Newton, Post 346 out of Terre Haute, Indiana, and your Post 22 Hardhats. With that being said, we say good afternoon and welcome inside our broadcast booth here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. This is Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, here on this beautiful 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to everybody tuning in for this championship showdown of the 2018 Firecracker Tournament presented by Camping World. Post 22 in pool play ran the table, 5-0, record in 5 games. They look to extend that to 6-0 and take the clean sweep of all the festivities and a Firecracker championship this afternoon against Wayne Newton, Post 346, who they played an incredible game against. The box score didn't really suggest that because there were 19 free base runners given by the Hardhats as far as pitching and fielding was concerned. But the Hardhats showcased resilience, and they came back and walked off in the bottom of the 9th and took a 13-12 win. This is the final game of the Firecracker Tournament. There were 2 games played earlier this morning. The Missoula Mavericks got their second win in their final matchup to win 5th place against Merced, California. 9-1 was the final score. And Rocky Mountain defeated the Premier West Cardinals by a 6-3 score in the Rocky Mountain rematch. Take a look earlier in the tournament. Premier West took a 6-3 win earlier in their first matchup, so both teams split against each other. Final standings, excluding tonight's game between Wayne Newton and the Hardhats, shows the Hardhats at a 5-0 record right at the top of the standings. Playing for the championship today, Wayne Newton, Post 346, is at a 4-1 record. Their only loss was to the Hardhats. Rocky Mountain finished 500 at 3-3, while Premier West and Missoula finished 2-4. Merced, California, 1-5 in the Firecracker pool and knockout stage, or placement stage, I should say. There was no knockout tournament to be had in this tournament. So now Post 22 looks to end everything with an exclamation point against Wayne Newton, Post 346. And again, this is a highly anticipated rematch. Sunday night, the Hardhats, they were down on a number of occasions. The 2 biggest deficits that stand out to me, 8-2 after 3 innings, and 12-7 going into the bottom half of the 8th. And somehow they plated 4 in the bottom of the 8th to make it 12-11, and then got the win thanks to Alex Weaver's walk-off single with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th to get the eventual 13-12 victory. A lot of the usual suspects are in the lineup for both of these teams, which should even add further to the tenacity of what we're going to see later this afternoon between Post 22 and Wayne Newton. We are moments away from the start of our pregame festivities. We're just waiting on the umpires to come on out and have a quick chat with both of our coaches. Post 22, in the 5 games they played in pool play, had 4 of them end earlier than 9 innings, 3 of them by the run rule, and 1 by the elements. To recap how we got to this point, Post 22 started off against the Missoula Mavericks, and thanks to Dylan Ritchie's 5-inning no-hitter, took a 15-0 win against Missoula. In Game 2, they ended up taking Merced, California. Going into the bottom of the 7th, the team had an 8-5 lead, and ultimately hung on due to inclement weather. It was considered an official game by the American Legion standards, 6.5 with the home team leading and 7 if they weren't. So the umpires decided to call the game at that point. 8-5 was the final score. Then we go to Wayne Newton. We had the fire sale of a baseball game at 13-12. The Hardhats won with the walk-off. Then it was the Premier West Cardinals, who the Hardhats handed a 19-4 loss to after 6 innings of play. And then last night, the Hardhats took on Rocky Mountain, and they won 10-2 in 6.5 innings. Wayne Newton on the other side of things, coming into these matchups. They took a 9-6 win against Premier West to start off the tournament. Followed that up with a 10-8 win against the Missoula Mavericks, a nail-biter of a baseball game there. Then obviously they had the matchup against the Hardhats, which they lost 13-12. The next day, Wayne Newton ended up playing Rocky Mountain and won 8-6. And then yesterday, or the final game of the tournament, they took on Merced, California, and beat them 11-6 in 9 innings. So both of these teams playing some great offensive baseball. And talking with Coach Torvey prior to the start of our pregame festivities here, I asked him, what are your expectations for today's baseball game? And he said, well, I'll tell you what, they're throwing out a great pitcher, but so are we. We're throwing out Dylan Ritchie, so I expect it to be a cleaner game, but nonetheless, also expect it to be a fantastic baseball game too. Both of these teams showcased a ton of competitive spirit the other night, head-to-head, with the Hardhats showcasing their resilience and coming back from 2 major deficits. Terre Haute found ways to separate themselves when the Hardhats would get closer up until, of course, the 9th and final inning. So Post 22 ended up really exerting themselves offensively throughout the rest of the tournament and throughout the entirety of the tournament, as did Terre Haute. Both of these teams want it. They're hungry, so should make for quite a combination and a matchup this afternoon. Well, Rich Hegry, our public address announcer today, has started his pregame festivities, which means that we should probably give you the starting lineups for tonight's matchup. Now, all the games that were played today on this placement/championship day here on the 4th of July are 7-inning games. That changes things up just a slight bit. Wayne Newton posts 346, batting in the top halves of our 7 innings this afternoon. Leading off for Wayne Newton is number 9, Evan Newman. He's in the hot corner at third base. Batting second is number 11, Brigham Bowe. He's out at shortstop. Batting third is number 5, Cameron Cook. He's patrolling right field. And in the cleanup position is number 22, Benji Downs, and he will serve as the starting pitcher for Wayne Newton. Batting fifth is number 15, Ryan Brown. He's out at first base. Batting sixth is number 17, Connor Brown, the backstopper and catcher. Batting seventh is number 3, Jason Mundell. He's patrolling center field. Batting eighth is number 12, Will Kelly. He's patrolling left field. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot for Wayne Newton, post 346, is number 4, Caleb Gonser, and he is at second base. Again on the mound is number 22, Benji Downs for Wayne Newton. He'll take on the Hardhats as follows in the bottom halves of our 7 innings this afternoon. Leading off for post 22 is number 13, Connor King. He's patrolling center field. Batting second is number 21, Matt Hegry. He's in the hot corner at third base. Batting third is number 22, Cooper Bowman. He's at shortstop. And in the cleanup position is number 23, Jack Sorensen, and he will serve as the designated hitter for this championship showdown. Batting fifth is number 30, Jace Caldwell, out at first base. Batting sixth is number 15, Zach Sumption. He's patrolling right field. Batting seventh is number 18, Alex Weaver, patrolling left field. Batting eighth is number 25, Ryan Schmidt, the backstopper and catcher. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot for post 22 is number 12, Mason Messenger, and he is out at second base. On the mound is Dylan Ritchie, the man who threw a no-hitter at the start of this tournament in 5 innings of play. Ritchie comes in for his 10th appearance of the season and his 9th by virtue of a start. A perfect 5-0 record to his credit in 42 2/3 innings of work under his belt. He has a 1.97 ERA with a team leading 46 strikeouts to 25 walks on the season. Post 22 for the first time this season wearing their star-spangled uniforms, which they have routinely brought out for the Firecracker tournament, so it's great to see them showcasing their patriotism in a tournament that does exactly that. Folks, we're going to take a step aside. When we come back, we'll have the presentation of the colors, the performance of the United States National Anthem, and we'll be all set for first pitch of the Firecracker Championship Showdown between Wayne Newton, post 346, and your post 22 Hardhats. Stick around. You are listening to post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. The colors are off the field. The United States National Anthem has been performed, and we are all set for this July 4th Firecracker Championship Showdown between Terre Haute's Wayne Newton, post 346, and your post 22 Hard Hats. Still have a few pregame festivities going on as we get ready for this championship showdown of the 2018 Firecracker Tournament, presented by Camping World. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Both of these teams squaring off in a highly anticipated rematch. Saturday night, the third day of pool play, the third game for both teams. Post 22 played Wayne Newton, and they won on a walk-off in 9 innings, 13-12. In a game that, looking at the box score, the Hardhats really should not have had any chance of winning. With 9 walks and 7 hit-bats been issued by the pitching staff and an extra 3 errors committed in the field. But somehow Post 22 found a way to string together some late offense. 11 of their 13 runs came in the second half of the ball game. From the bottom of the 5th on, they went 4 in the bottom of the 5th, none in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 4 in the 8th, and 2, including the winner, in the 9th. They were able to come back, and they ended up holding Wayne Newton to just 4 runs in the last 5 innings of play. We have our ceremonial first pitch going on right now as both teams still on their respective base paths look on as the biography of the gentleman throwing the first pitch is read, and now here it comes. Tad bit off track, but nonetheless a great effort. It is absolutely gorgeous today on this July 4th. 75 degrees out, not a single cloud in the sky, and the sun is shining down. This is July 4th weather. This is summer weather. Most importantly, it is baseball weather. And Post 22 now takes to their respective defensive positions. They are wearing their star-spangled uniforms today. They're almost always brought out for the Firecracker Tournament, and my goodness, do they look fantastic. White pants, and then it's a light top with red stripes along the body and stars with blue on the shoulders for those that haven't seen them before. Dylan Ritchie on the mound is throwing his warm-up pitches for Post 22. Ritchie comes into this matchup, his 10th appearance of the season and his 9th by virtue of a start. A perfect 5-0 record to his credit in 42 2/3 innings of work this season. He has a 1.97 ERA with 46 strikeouts, lead the Hardhats to 25 walks. Ritchie coming off of a 5-inning no-hitter that he dealt at the start of this tournament against the Missoula Mavericks, in which he struck out 4, walked 5, and hit 1 in his 5 innings of work. Just about 83 pitches thrown, so he's had practically a week off at this point. And is set to do battle against Wayne Newton, post 346. Real quickly, let's go over the batting order for Wayne Newton. Leading off, number 9, Evan Newman out at third base. Batting second, number 11, Pregame at shortstop. Batting third, number 5, Cameron Cook patrolling right field. In the cleanup spot, number 22, Benji Downs, the pitching counterpart of Ritchie. Batting fifth is number 15, Ryan Brown out at first base. Batting sixth is 17, Connor Brown, the backstopper and catcher. Batting seventh is number 3, Jason Mundell, patrolling center field. Batting eighth is number 12, Will Kelly, patrolling left field. Rounding out the batting order in the ninth spot is number 4, Caleb Gonser out at second base. Defensive alignment for the Hardhats has Ritchie and his right arm on the mound, paired up with Ryan Schmidt behind home plate. At first, Chase Caldwell. Second, Mason Messenger. Shortstop, Cooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third is Matt Hegry. Left to right in the outfield, Alex Weaver, Connor King, and Zach Sumption. First pitch to Evan Newman, hit right to short, and Cooper Bowman gets an easy throw to first. One pitch, one up, one down. And that'll quickly bring up Brigham Boo, the shortstop. Newman in the first game ended up going 0 for 5 with a walk, hit into a double play, and reached on an error to score. Boo now steps in, a right-handed batter. His first pitch hit high in the air towards the infield. Ritchie gives way to Bowman, and he comes in from short to make the catch. And just like that, on 2 pitches, we have 2 outs, and that'll bring up Cameron Cook, the right fielder. Boo in that first game ended up going 0 for 4, twice hit by a pitch, twice walked, and reached on an error. Cameron Cook ended up going 1 for 5, an RBI double, 2-run RBI double, hit by a pitch, struck out, and also reached on an error. He looks at ball 1, so we won't get an immaculate inning for Dylan Ritchie. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's a called strike. Fastball at the belt over the heart of the plate, 1-1. Burt Reddy's calling the balls and strikes behind home plate. Yogi Milslegel is in the field. 1-1 pitch is upstairs, breaking ball. 2-1 now to Cook. Empty base path for Cook, quickly 2 outs for Wade Newton, post 346 here in a scoreless top half of the first. Ritchie from the stretch. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. And that's high and away, a fastball, and it's 3-1 now to the Wayne Newton right fielder. 3 balls and a strike to count. And Ritchie deals. Low and inside, ball 4. So it's a 2-out walk issued by Ritchie to Cook. And that will bring up the cleanup hitter and Ritchie's pitching counterpart, Benji Downs. No lefties yet in the lineup for Ritchie to worry about, as we are 4 men in. And Benji Downs, the pitcher, steps in, a right-handed batter. Ritchie checks the man on first. And here's the first pitch to Downs. That's down for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Downs. He has Cook on first, 90 feet to his right, with 2 outs, and a 1-0 count here in the top of a scoreless first inning. Ritchie looks over to first, and from the stretch, here comes the 1-0. And that's a fastball that missed low. 2 balls, no strikes. Two 2-0 the count. And Ritchie deals to Downs. A pitch is ripped foul down the first base line and out of play. 2-1. Post 22 looking to get out of this inning unscathed. They had a chance at 1-2-3, but Ritchie issued a 2-out walk. Now the hope is retiring Downs. 2-1, swung on, lined in the air to right center field. Connor King's on his horse, and the ball drops in front of him for a base hit. King gets it into Messenger, and Messenger will eat it as smart base running has allowed Cook to take 2 bases on the sequence. So it's a 2-out single that now puts men on the corners for Wayne Newton, and that'll bring up Ryan Brown, the first baseman. Brown, the first lefty in the lineup for Ritchie to worry about. He steps in. Again, batting left-handed. Ryan Brown went 4 for 5. Scored 3 times, had an RBI. Walked once and struck out once. And his first pitch is hit shallow center field. King tracks in, battles the sun, makes the catch. And that puts an end to the inning. No runs on a hit, no errors charged to the Hardhats. 2 men left on the base path. The first run of the game, 90 feet from home. We've played half an inning of baseball. Wayne Newton and Post 22 are still scoreless, with your Hardhats coming to the sticks for the first time in the Firecracker Championship Showdown. We'll take a step aside for Connor King, Matt Heggery, and Cooper Bowman when we get back here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. The Hardhats now transition from defense to offense and will take on Benji Downs, the tall righty on the mound, for Wayne Newton, Post 346. Real quick, let's go ahead and recap the Hardhats batting order. Leading off is number 13, Connor King, patrolling center field. Batting second, number 21, Matt Heggery in the hot corner at third base. Batting third, number 22, Cooper Bowman at shortstop. In the cleanup position, number 23, Jack Sorensen. He's the designated hitter. Batting fifth, number 30, Jace Caldwell out at first base. Batting sixth is number 15, Zach Sumption, patrolling right field. Batting seventh, number 18, Alex Weaver, patrolling left field. Batting eighth is number 25, Ryan Schmidt, the backstopper and catcher. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot for the Hardhats is number 12, Mason Messenger, out at second base. Defensive alignment for Wayne Newton has Benji Downs in his right arm on the mound, paired up with the catcher, Connor Brown. At first is Ryan Brown, second, Caleb Gonser, shortstop, Brigham Boo, and in the hot corner at third is Evan Newman. Left to right in the outfield, Will Kelly, Jason Mundell, and Cameron Cook. Connor King steps in for his first plate appearance of the championship game. King batting .280 coming into this matchup, and on the tournament, batting .214. The only lefty in the Hard Hats lineup. The only one to provide a mismatch to the righty, Benji Downs. Full windup for Downs. First pitch to King. Swung on, ball's hit to second. Stops made on the play by Gonser between his legs. And the throw to first is in time for out number one. Top half of the inning and the bottom half of the inning start off one pitch, one up, one down. And that'll bring us to Matt Hegre. Hegre batting .320 on the year coming into this matchup. Batting a dead even .500 on the Firecracker tournament. First pitch to Hegre, misses low. On a fastball, it's 1-0. Hegre's 5 for 10 on the tournament with 3 singles, a double, and one that has left the yard. 1-0 pitch, a called strike. Fastball right at the belt of Hegre, and it's 1-1. Hegre has an empty base path with 1 out here in a bottom scoreless first inning. And the next pitch, a called strike. Right at his belt again, and it's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes the count, and Downs deals. A breaking ball high and inside, and it's 2-2. Downs wastes no time on the mound, considering there's nobody on the base path to worry about. 2-2 pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air to center field. Mundell's on the run, and then gets under it and makes the catch for out number 2. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Cooper Bowman, who leads the Hard Hats on the season with a .507 average, and in the tournament with a .650 average. The most lethal threat in this lineup for Post 22 in just about every way, shape, and form. First pitch from Downs. And that missed low, right below his knees, 1-0. Bowman in that game was just sensational. Went 4 for 4, was hit by a pitch, was issued a walk as well. And he looks at strike one on an off-speed pitch on the outside corner. And he scored 3 runs, also had an RBI. Ball and a strike is count. And the 1-1 pitch. Fastball low and away, 2-1. Bowman thought about it, but good eye showcased as he laid off. 2 balls and a strike to Bowman. 2 outs, empty base path. 2-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's ripped foul. First base side and out of play. 2-2. Downs looking to end this 1-2-3 fashion, which would bring 6, 7, and 8 up for his Wayne Newton side in the top of the second. And 2-2 to Bowman. Pitch is swung on, ball's hit up the middle. Gonser can't make the stop at second, and it goes into center for a base hit. Cooper Bowman gets Post 22's first hit of the ball game, a 2-out single, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Jack Sorensen. Sorensen on the year batting .369 coming into this matchup. On the tournament batting .278 through 5 games. First pitch. Check swing, and it's a called strike. 0-1 to Sorensen. Didn't matter if he had gone or not. Burt Reddy called strike. 0-1 the count to Sorensen. Bowman leads off at first. Next pitch swung on, ball's chopped up the middle. Gonser gets the stop, touches second, and that will end the bottom half of the first. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left on the base path for Post 22. We have played 1 inning of baseball. Wayne Newton and the Hard Hats are in a scoreless deadlock. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the second. Connor Brown, Jason Mundell, and Will Kelly slated to hit for Wayne Newton here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. No runs, a hit, no errors on both sides of the scoreboard between Wayne Newton, post 346 out of Terre Haute, Indiana, and your post 22 Hardhats. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. As Connor Brown, Jason Mundell, and Will Kelly are slated to hit for Wayne Newton, post 346, 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Ritchie against Brown, a big right-handed batter. And his first pitch is a breaking ball inside for a called strike, 0-1. Ritchie sets from the stretch. Here comes his 0-1 pitch. And that's a breaking ball low and away. 1-1 now to Brown. Brown, Mundell, and Kelly slated to hit in the inning. Ball and a strike the count. And Ritchie deals. Pitch is swung on, ripped foul down the third base line. It'll be 1-2. Connor Brown, in game one, went 1 for 4 with a single. Twice was hit by a pitch. Twice came around to score. And now Ritchie looking for his first punch out. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. There's out number 1. In the top half of this scoreless second inning, and K number 1 for Dylan Ritchie. That'll bring up Jason Mundell, the center fielder. Mundell went 1 for 3, struck out looking, a sac fly RBI, an RBI walk. He's actually walked twice. First pitch, a fastball that just missed outside. 1-0. That was back on Sunday's matchup between these teams. 1-0 pitch, called strike. Fastball in the inside corner, and it's 1-1. Mundell, a right-handed batter against the righty, and Ritchie. Ritchie's still only seen one lefty, and that was Ryan Brown to end the first inning. 1-1 pitch is sent foul right field side and over the wall of the Wayne Newton bullpen. 1-2 now to Mundell. Ritchie looking for back-to-back strikeouts. His first and second of his start. Empty base path here for Mundell. 1 out, top of the second. Still 2 zeros on either side of the scoreboard. And the 1-2 misses high and inside. Ritchie going to that quick pitch maneuver, but it missed. 2-2. Ritchie again from the stretch. And the 2-2 pitch. Hit him right on the helmet. And that's the first hit batsman of the ball game for Dylan Ritchie. It'll come with 1 out. Kelly now in the batter's box as Mundell trots over to first, and he looks to be all right. They wear helmets for a reason. That's exactly why. Kelly, a right-handed batter, will step in against Dylan Ritchie. Mundell is on first with the hit by pitch and 1 out. Hardhats have the double play available to try and get out of the inning. First pitch. Called strike. Fastball in the inside corner. It's 0-1. Kelly rounds out the 3 scheduled to hit in this inning. If the double play doesn't end it, then Caleb Gonser, the 9-hole hitting second baseman's on deck. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, ball's ripped over the head of Jace Caldwell and into right for a base hit. Rounding first, heading to second is Kelly. Sumption throw into second, not there in time. Everybody takes 2 bases as Mundell goes from first all the way to third, and Kelly gets a 1-out double. Men on second and third, and that's going to bring up Caleb Gonser, the second baseman. Gonser went 0 for 0 in the Sunday matchup. An RBI base on balls, got another walk, and was also hit by a pitch. 3 free passes. He only came to score once. 2 men in scoring position for him. Ritchie in a bind here. First pitch, swung on, ball is hit right to a diving Cooper Bowman. Deep short, throw to first is in time. What a throw by Bowman. Are you kidding me? A run scores in the sequence, but Cooper Bowman with a rocket from deep short just gave the Hardhats a key second out. But Wayne Newton strikes first. They have a 1-0 lead. Somebody call up the 4-letter network in Bristol, Connecticut. That was incredible. A man on third, 2 outs. Evan Newman back at the top of the order's up. And his first pitch is low, but it's blocked by Ryan Schmidt. 1-0 the count to Newman, who is 0 for 1 with a ground out right to the aforementioned Cooper Bowman. Throws like that are the reason he's going to play Division I baseball next year at the University of Hawaii. That was impressive. 1-0 pitch. Fastball missed low. 2-0 to Newman. 2 outs with a man on third, but Wayne Newton has struck first. They have a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. Ritchie again from the stretch. Here comes his 2-0 to Newman. Pitch is swung on. Ball's hit high in the air. Foul territory. First base side, and Caldwell will watch it go over the fence and into the crowd. 2 balls and a strike now to Newman. Ritchie sets. Here's the 2-1. That's a fastball low and inside. 3 balls and a strike now the count. Ritchie has only 1 strikeout in this start. Has already issued a walk and he's hit a batter. And the pitch came on a 2-strike count. It's 2-2. 3 balls and a strike now the count here to Newman. Ritchie sets. And the 3-1. Swung on. Ball's chopped to third. Heggery on the run. Gets the scoop. Throw to first is not in time. And it's an RBI infield single for Evan Newman. And now it's 2-0 Wayne Newton with 2 outs here in the top of the second. Heggery charged the ball. It was a slow roller up the line, and he double clutched trying to get the throw off. Newman's safe, and it knocks in Will Kelly. That now brings up Brigham Boo with a man on first and 2 outs. The inning keeps going. Ritchie's first pitch. Swung on, ball's lined into right field, but foul. And Boo starts off 0-1. If Boo's retired, Caldwell, Sumption, and Weaver are scheduled to hit in that order here in the bottom half of the second with the Hardhats trailing 2-0. Ritchie from the stretch. 0-1 to Boo. Breaking ball called, strike right at the belt of Boo. That was a fantastic pitch. 0-2. Ritchie looks to first, looking for his second punch out to end the inning. 0-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's popped high in the air. Shallow right field towards the line. Messenger coming from second, and he's unable to make the grab in foul territory. And Boo gets a second life as both Sumption nor Messenger could not come up with the snag to end the inning. Count will hold at 0-2 for Boo. The wind may have taken that one. I'm looking at Old Glory right on the scoreboard, and she's blowing to my right. So from left field to right field is where that gust is coming from. No balls, 2 strikes to Boo. And Ritchie deals. Pitch is swung on, weakly hit to first. Caldwell the stop. He's going to touch the bag himself, and that will end the top half of the second. Well, Wayne Newton does some damage. 2 runs on the power of 2 hits. No errors charged to the Hardhats, and a man left on the base path. We've played an inning and a half of baseball. And Wayne Newton, for a second matchup in a row head-to-head, takes the lead first. It stands at 2-0. When we return, Jace Caldwell, Zach Sumption, and Alex Weaver will hit for the Hardhats in the bottom of the second here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 fans, don't forget about our annual Dining on the Diamond Spaghetti Dinner, Monday, July 9th, next week, from 5 to 7 here at the Fitz. It's a free dinner to all of our season ticket holders and sponsors. Come out for your free pasta dinner and have your favorite Post 22 player serve you your meal. I know exactly where I'm going to be next Monday because I'm half Italian and I can't say no to pasta. And it's fun to see the guys dress up in bow ties and cummerbunds serving the fans who have supported them throughout the entirety of the season. Jace Caldwell leads off the bottom of the second, rips his first pitch on a high hopper to third. Newman on the run gets it, and his throw to first is in time for out number 1 to start off the bottom half of the second. Post 22 trails 2-0 coming into the bottom half of this frame. Zach Sumption, the right fielder, now hits after the Jace Caldwell, the first baseman. was retired on his first pitch. Sumption, a right-handed batter. Swings and misses at his first pitch. 0-1. Sumption on the season batting .306. And on the tournament is batting .500, and he looks at strike 2. 0-2 the count. Benji Downs still on the mound, continuing his start for Wayne Newton. 0-2 to Sumption is a fastball upstairs. Sumption laid off. It's 1-2. 1 out and an empty base path for Sumption. Bottom of the second, his team trails 2-0. 1-2 pitch is another high fastball outside. 2-2. Downs showing great velocity on his fastball. Very tall right-handed pitcher. 2-2 pitch, rides at the letters, and the count goes full. 3 straight fastballs from Downs, all of them have missed. And now here's a big payoff pitch to Sumption. 3-2 is up high, ball 4. Sumption started down 0-2 and battled back to 4 straight balls. It's a 1-out walk issued to Sumption, and that's going to bring up Alex Weaver, the left fielder. Weaver was the hero against Wayne Newton on Sunday. He had the walk-off hit as a substitute in the bottom of the 9th. He came in to substitute in the game in, I believe, the 6th or 7th inning. He was 0 for 1 with a walk at that point and ripped a single up the middle to end it. He looks at a first pitch strike at his knees. Fastball from Downs, it's 0-1. Weaver with Sumption on first, 1 out bottom of the second. Wayne Newton holds on to a 2-0 lead. Downs from the stretch, 0-1 pitch. Pitch is swung on, ball's hit to short, comes to Boo. He touches second for 1, throws to first for 2 and gets it. A 6 unassisted 3 double play, and it ends the bottom half of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base after 2 innings to play. Wayne Newton holds on to an early 2-0 lead over post 22. We'll take a step aside, and when we come back, it's the top of the 3rd. Cook, Downs, and Ryan Brown slated to hit for Wayne Newton when we return here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Top half of the 3rd inning here at Dave Plouffe Field at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. I'm broadcasting from Rudy's Corner. I am Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. It's funny pointing out so many things that have a name tied to them, and that's got to be special for those individuals associated with this long-standing program filled with tradition. Floyd Fitzgerald has the stadium named after him. The field was just dedicated to the late Dave Plouffe, the coach that really established what post-22 baseball is, and did so for over 40 seasons. Over 2,000 wins in American Legion Baseball. He has sent this team to the World Series 8 times and won it once. That was back in 1993. And, of course, Rudy's Corner is aptly named for my former broadcast partner, Tom Rudebush. I thoroughly enjoyed calling baseball with Tom last season. He is post-22 baseball, no two ways about it. 3, 4, and 5 doing the order for Wayne Newton. And Dylan Ritchie still on the mound, continuing his start, throws a first pitch, breaking ball low and away to Cameron Cook, 1-0. Cook walked back in the top of the 1st against Ritchie. Second matchup between the two. And the 1-0 is spiked, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes to count from Ritchie to Cook. As we start off the top of the 3rd with Wayne Newton up 2-0 over the Hardhats. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Called strike. Fastball at the knees of Cook. It's 2-1. Through 2 innings of play, Wayne Newton has 2 runs on 3 hits with no errors, and the Hardhats, no runs on a hit with no errors. 2-1 from Richie. Fastball low and away, and it's 3-1. 3 balls and a strike to count. Richie to Cameron Cook. And the 3-1. Pitch is swung on. Ball's hit to short. Bowman tried to get the backhand stab, and it kicks off of his glove and goes into left field. That'll be an E6, a rare one against Bowman. And that'll bring up the starting pitcher, Benji Downs. So the Hardhats start off with a very uncharacteristic error for number 22 over at short. Downs 1 for 1, singled the last time he was up. Richie from the stretch. Here comes his first pitch. Pitch is swung on, fouled to the meshing behind home plate. 0-1 to Downs. Downs with Cook on first. No one out here in the top of the third. Cook reached on an error. Again, a very rare one committed at the shortstop position. 0-1 to Downs. Breaking ball, swung on, chopped to third. Heggery on the run to second for 1. Messenger to first for 2, and he got it! A 5-4-3 double play. That was a big turn for the Hardhats. 2 down, and that'll bring up the lefty, the lone one in the lineup for right now, Ryan Brown, the first baseman. Brown 0 for 1, flew out to center field. Back in the top half of the first. That actually ended the inning. First pitch, breaking ball, got away from Richie. It's high and outside, 1-0. Ball and no strikes to count. Richie to Ryan Brown, the lefty. And the 1-0 is fouled. That's flared third base side and into the concourse. Ball and a strike to count. And Richie, quick pitch maneuver. That's outside, a fastball, and it's 2-1. Dylan Richie had 10 pitches in the inning, 43 overall in the ballgame. Here's his 2-1. Pitch is swung on and fouled again. Practically the exact same spot, third base side. 2-2. Brown just a tad bit late on 2 pitches in this count. 2-2. And a quick pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. And that will end the top half of the third. Second strikeout for Richie. No runs, no hits, an error charge to the Hardhats, and no one left on the base path. 2.5 innings in the books, and Post 22 still trails Wayne Newton by a 2-0 score. When we return, Ryan Schmidt, Mason Messenger, back to the top to Connor King. Slated to hit here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Earlier today, some placement games were played to end the Firecracker tournament. 5th place and 3rd place were fought for earlier this morning. 5th place was between the Missoula Mavericks and the Merced Volunteers, and the Mavericks took a 9-1 win over their opposition from California. There was a Rocky Mountain rematch between the only 2 Colorado teams in the tournament, Rocky Mountain and Premier West. Premier West won the first matchup at 6-3. Rocky Mountain won this one. 6-3 was the final. Post 22 and Wayne Newton post 346 playing for the Firecracker title right now. And Ryan Schmidt fouls off his first pitch from Benji Downs and starts off 0-1. Schmidt on the season, 345 average. And in the tournament, just behind Cooper Bowman, batting .571. His next pitch is once again fought off foul. Late on those 2 pitches, and he's behind 0-2 now to Downs. Downs has yet to record a strikeout in this start here in the bottom of the third. Wayne Newton up 2-0 on the Hardhats. 0-2 to Schmidt. Breaking ball swung on, and it's hit to short. Stops made by Boo between his legs. And the throw to first off the bag, but getting the tag was Ryan Brown. And Schmidt is retired. 1 up, 1 down for post 22, and that'll bring up Mason Messenger. Messenger batting .293 on the year, and in the tournament is batting .267. 4 hits, 3 singles, 1 of them left the ballpark. 1-0 the count to Messenger. That was Monday night, in which the Hardhats hit 5 home runs in the game. 4 of them came in the bottom of the second. Messenger's the first of those 4. 1-0 from Downs is high and inside. 2 balls, no strikes the count. Messenger on the season has 27 hits. Only 4 of them are extra base hits. Next pitch is fouled off at the plate. 2-1. Pair of doubles, a triple, and the home run. And that home run was his first of the season, and his first at the varsity level as a hard hat. He's in his first season wearing the hard hat. 2-1 pitch, swung on, line to second. Caleb Gonser snags it. And there are 2 down. 2 up, 2 down for the Hard Hats, and back to the top of the order we go to Connor King. Messenger flared it opposite field, but Gonser was there with a big leap and a snag. King's 0 for 1, grounded out to Gonser at second. Back in the bottom half of the first, he led off the inning. Second matchup against Downs. First pitch from Downs is low. King showed bunt, but it was called ball 1 as he pulled back. 1-0 to the Hard Hat center fielder. And the 1-0 pitch from Downs is high and inside, 2-0. King shared a very special moment with his grandfather at the start of the 3rd inning. His grandfather, an Air Force veteran of 23 years of service to this country, and the team presented him with a signed ball, and Connor was the one to deliver it to him. 2-0 pitch, a called strike with a fastball in the outside corner. 2-1. And here is the 2-1 pitch. And that missed low, a breaking ball. 3-1 now to King. King on the season leads the Hard Hats with 33 walks. He's only struck out 18 times. He's a pitch away from walk number 34 on the year. Time called, and Downs will keep his motion going. They called time, but he didn't want to risk holding up from his motion and injuring himself. 3-1. No time called this time. 3-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's chopped foul, first base side. And now the count goes full to King. Downs looking for the first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game between both teams. Here is the payoff pitch to King. His pitch is swung on, and it's hit foul again, first base side. And it'll hold full for a second payoff pitch. Post 22 trailing 2-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Empty base path and 2 outs for Connor King. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Wayne Newton. No runs, a hit, and an error for the Hard Hats. Here comes payoff number 2. And that's caught him looking. Strike 3 at his knees, a fastball, and that will do it. First strikeout of the start for Downs, and that ends the bottom half of the 3rd. 1-2-3 fashion, the Hard Hats go down, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played 3 innings of the championship showdown. With the 2018 Firecracker tournament, Wayne Newton still has a 2-0 lead over post 22. We will take a step aside, and when we return, Connor Brown, Jason Mundell, and Will Kelly are slated to hit for Wayne Newton here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hard Hats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats. I ate there earlier today, by the way. Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Not necessarily disaster to clean up for the Hardhats right now, but they are trailing 2-0 after 3 innings of our 7 in this Firecracker Championship showdown. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Wayne Newton in the driver's seat and back in the batter's box. No runs, a hit, and an error for the Hardhats. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV as Connor Brown, the big righty, leads off and looks at ball 1 in his second plate appearance. 0 for 1 with the first of 2 Dylan Ritchie strikeouts. 1-0, buzzes the tower high and inside. 2 balls, no strikes right off the hop. Ritchie will take on Brown right now at 2-0, Jason Mundell and Will Kelly. The latter 2, the only 2 runs of the ball game. 2-0 pitch is fouled first base side and into the crowd by Brown. 2-1. Mundell was hit by a pitch and then Will Kelly doubled. Gonzer had an RBI ground out, and then Newman followed up with an RBI single to knock him in. Back in the second inning. 2-1. The quick pitch is high and inside, 3-1. Ritchie hasn't really been able to locate that quick pitch maneuver, as opposed to when he fully comes to a set position. 3-1 pitch is lined in the air to center field. Connor King trots to his left, and he makes the catch. Out number 1. Jason Mundell now comes up, again hit by the pitch, and he represents the first of 2 runs scored by Wayne Newton in this matchup. Ritchie now at 50 pitches. He's thrown 5 in the frame. Here in the top of the 4th, the Hardhats trailing 2-0, trying to keep it that way. First pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air to right field. Sumption over towards the foul line, and he makes the catch. Just shy of the warning track for out number 2. Mundell retired. He's now 0 for 1. Will Kelly comes up 1 for 1, the only extra base hit of the ballgame between both teams. He doubled and came around to score as part of Newman's 2-out RBI single back in the second. 2 outs, empty base path for Kelly. First pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air to left center field. Connor King is on the run, takes a stop, and makes the catch, and that is going to end the inning. Wayne Newton goes down in 1-2-3 fashion, which, as we all know, means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played half of the championship showdown. 3.5 out of 7 innings of regulation. Post 22 still trails 2-0. We'll take a step aside and we'll come right back with the bottom of the 4th and the second half of the ball game with Matt Hegre, Cooper Bowman, and Jack Sorensen slated to hit here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Hunter Woodby with the great rendition of God Bless America helps set the table for the bottom half of this 4th inning between Wayne Newton, post 346, hailing from Terre Haute, Indiana, and your post 22 Hardhats. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Post 22 back to the offensive as we start off the second half of this championship showdown. 2-0 is the score at halftime of the ball game, if you will. For Wayne Newton, it's 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. And for the Hardhats, it's no runs on a hit with with 1 error on defense. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Matt Hegre, Cooper Bowman, and Jack Sorensen are scheduled to hit in this showdown. Bottom half of the 4th. Benji Downs on the mound. He's been very efficient through his first 3 innings of pitching. 36 pitches. Averaging a dead even 13 per frame. 13 in the first, 9 in the second, 14 in the third. So here comes Matt Hegre, 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field. Matt Hegre on the tournament's batting .500, tied for third with Zach Sumption on the roster. And first pitch is a fastball outside, 1-0. Burt Reddy calling the balls and strikes. Clyde Yogi Milslegels in the field. 1-0 pitch, called strike. Fastball on the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Benji Downs, again, great velocity with that fastball. He showcased it all game so far. 1-1 is high and inside. 2-1. 2 balls and a strike the count. And Downs deals to Hegre. Called strike. Fastball right at his knees. And it's 2-2. Downs just attacking with the fastball. Hasn't really gone much to his breaking pitch. 2-2 is just fouled. Hegre a tad bit early on it. Count will hold at 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes, and down deals to Hegre. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 was dropped. Connor Brown fields it, throws to Ryan Brown, and gets the out. Second strikeout for Downs. And that starts off the inning, 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats. Cooper Bowman, 1 for 1 with the only hit of the ball game for Post 22. Now steps in. That was a 2-out single in the bottom half of the first. If there's anybody that can get something started for the Hardhats, it's definitely number 22. First pitch is a breaking ball low. 1-0. Bowman leads the team in practically every offensive statistical category. 1-0 pitch is ripped foul. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Bowman on the season, 71 hits, 43 singles, 13 doubles, 10 triples, 5 home runs. 51 runs batted in, 62 runs scored, and a .507 average coming into the matchup. Next pitch swung on, ball is hit to third. Stops made by Newman to his left. Throw to first is barely in time for out number 2. That's 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats, and that'll bring us to the DH, Jack Sorensen. Sorensen 0 for 1. He grounded into a fielder's choice that ended the bottom half of the first. And here's the first pitch. Breaking ball low. 1-0. Downs has pitched a very simple game. Every now and then he whips out the breaking ball. Otherwise, it's been straight gas. Here comes the 1-0. And that's a breaking ball that caught the inside part of the plate. 1-1. Right at the knees of Sorensen. Here's the 1-1. And that's high and inside. 2 balls and a strike now to Sorensen. Sorensen on the tournament batting .278. He has walked and struck out 5 times each. Here comes the 2-1. And that's a called strike. Had a fastball right on the inside at his knees. 2-2. And Downs 2-2 pitch. Swung on, ball is chopped to third again. Actually, it's going to go to short. Boo gets the stop, throw to first, not in time. A 2-out infield single for Jack Sorensen. Just the second hit of the ball game for Post 22. That's going to bring up Jace Caldwell, the first baseman. Caldwell just as much of a deep threat as Cooper Bowman is. A .422 average coming into the game. 45 runs batted in, and 4 times he's left the ballpark. First pitch, called strike. And a check to first following, not back in time. Sorensen safe. Caldwell has Sorensen on first. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. The Hardhats trail 2-0. Caldwell 0 for 1. And he looks at strike 2 on the inside corner. At his knees, a nice fastball again, and it's 0-2. Downs from the stretch, looking to end the inning. 0-2. That's a fastball high and away. 1-2. Zach Sumption is on deck if we get that far. There are 2 outs. Ball and 2 strikes to Caldwell. And Downs deals. Pitch is swung on, and it's chopped foul third base side. Calvin Torvey, the nice snag. And the count holds at a ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 again to Caldwell. Downs deals. Pitch is fouled off. Nice protection from Caldwell, and the count will hold at 1 and 2. This inning has definitely ramped up the pitch count of Benji Downs. He's at 55 right now compared to the 52 of Richie. Next pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3 on the breaking ball. And that's K number 3 for Downs and the end of the 4th inning. No runs on a hit with no errors and a man left on first. We have played 4 innings of this 7-inning championship showdown. Wayne Newton in the driver's seat with a 2-0 lead over the Hardhats. We'll take a step aside, and when we come back, it'll be the top of the 5th inning. 9-1-2 slated to hit for Wayne Newton, starting off with the second baseman, Caleb Gonser, here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. The Hardhats have had quite a busy stretch of baseball this week. They had the Firecracker tournament to play, and they won't play next until Saturday at 5 o'clock, a doubleheader against the reigning state champions, Pier Post 8. That doubleheader will start at 5, so coverage will begin shortly before first pitch. Top of the 5th inning coming to us. Dylan Ritchie back on the mound to take on 9-1-2 in the Wayne Newton order. That'll start off with the 9-hole hitter, Caleb Gonser, the second baseman. An RBI ground out on his stat line. First pitch. Breaking ball called strike inside at his knees. 0-1. Through 4 innings, Wayne Newton has 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. The Hardhats, no runs, 2 hits, and an error. Ritchie sets, and the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball called strike again inside. And it's 0-2, practically the exact same pitch. No balls and 2 strikes to Gonser. Ritchie looking for his 3rd strikeout of the start. And the 0-2 is a fastball high and away. And Gonser didn't chase it, 1-2. Ritchie's picked his pace up. Quick pitch, 0-2. Swung on, ball's hit right back up the middle. Bowman gets it, shoveling to his left. Throw to first in time. Cooper Bowman came all the way over from shortstop, practically on top of second base. Ritchie thought he had a backhanded snag because it was hit right back to him up the middle. But Bowman with a great stop and a throw. 1 up, 1 down, and that brings us back to the top to Evan Newman, who's 1 for 2 with a ribby single. First pitch is a breaking ball high and away. 1-0. Ball and no strikes the count. Ritchie sets, and his 1-0 pitch. Hits him. Breaking ball did not break in. Kind of got away from Ritchie. That's the second batter he's hit. 1 out, hit by pitch. Brings us to Brigham Boo, the shortstop. Boo's 0 for 2. Pop out to short and an unassisted ground out to third. Hardhats have already turned a double play in this game. A second one would end the inning and send them right back to offense. Top of the 5th, they trailed 2-0. First pitch, a fastball just missed low and away. 1-0. Post 22 fighting Wayne Newton for the 2018 Firecracker Championship presented by Camping World. 1-0 pitch, swung on, ball's hit to short. Bowman the scoop to second for 1, to first for 2. Messenger's throw is off track, and safe at first is Boo. So that'll be a 6-4 fielder's choice and then a throwing error on Messenger. So Newman thrown out on the base path. Boo will stay on first. Cameron Cook now comes up, the second error of the game for the Hardhats. 2 outs. Cook is 0 for 1 with a reach on an error and a walk, and he looks at ball 1 low. 1-0. Ritchie from the stretch. 1-0 pitch swung on, and it's hit by Hegre and a diving Bowman and into left for a base hit. Weaver into field at a 2-out single. That advances Boo to scoring position at second, and it brings up Benji Downs, the pitcher, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a ground into double play. Ritchie again from the stretch. First pitch. Hits him. That's the second hit batter of the inning for Ritchie. And the third overall in the ball game. It comes with 2 outs, and it loads the bases. And now the pitching coordinator, Ryan Klapperich, is going to come out and have a quick word with Ritchie. Unfortunate that Cooper Bowman and Mason Messenger couldn't turn the double play. Bowman's throwing a Messenger on target, and then Messenger threw it, and it pulled Caldwell off the bag to try and snag it. So the throwing error pulled Caldwell off, and that could have ended the inning. Now it's bases loaded, 2 outs. And Dylan Ritchie is in quite a pickle here. He's up against the lefty Ryan Brown. Luckily for Ritchie, he's 0 for 2, but if the law of averages has anything to say about this game, he would be due for one. First pitch. Low and outside, a fastball, it's 1-0. Brown flew out to center and struck out. He is the second of 2 strikeouts issued by Ritchie in this start. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball, called strike. Inside corner at the knees, it's 1-1. Ball and a strike the count from Ritchie to Ryan Brown. Post 22 trying to get out of a bases-loaded jam here in the Firecracker Championship. Trailing 2-0 with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Ritchie sets, and the 1-1 is a breaking ball low. That's blocked by Schmidt. 2-1. Cooper Bowman showing Cameron Cook on second that he's got a hard hat. That's what it is. 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed. 2-2. Ritchie's third strikeout could not come at a better time. It would end this bases loaded threat. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the 2-2 to Brown. Swung on, and it's fouled right to the mesh behind home plate, and the count will hold to 2-2. If Ritchie can get out of this, Sumption, Weaver, and Schmidt are slated to hit in the bottom half of this 5th. Hardhats trailed 2-0. That deficit in jeopardy right now with the bases loaded. 2-2 pitch. Caught him looking, strike 3. And that ends the top half of the 5th. No runs on a hit with an error charge to the Hardhats and the bases left loaded. We have played 4.5 innings out of 7 in this championship showdown, and Post 22 still trails 2-0. We'll take a step aside with the bottom of the 5th coming up. Zach Sumption, Alex Weaver, and Ryan Schmidt slated to hit here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. I have a scoring error in my book after talking the technicalities with our official scorer, Thad Caldwell, on the double play attempt trying to turn from second to first. That is not an error charged to Mason Messenger, so it's no runs on a hit with no errors and the bases left loaded in the top half of the 5th. I had the misunderstanding there. We're now to the bottom half of the 5th. Post 22 trailing 2-0 with some momentum in their corner thanks to Dylan Ritchie getting the team out of a bases-loaded jam. Zach Sumption, Alex Weaver, and Ryan Schmidt slated to hit for Post 22. Benji Downs back on the mound for Wayne Newton, holding on to a 2-0 lead here in this Firecracker Championship Showdown. And the first pitch to Sumption, a fastball called strike on the outside corner. 0-1 to Sumption, who walked on a full count with 1 out back in the bottom of the second. Next pitch is a check swing that rips foul. 0-2. Sumption tried to turn and avoid that ball. Ended up clanking the bat and just ricocheted. No balls, 2 strikes. And the 0-2 from Downs. Breaking ball swung on, hit right up the middle. Gonser diving, can't get the stop, and it pushes into center field for a base hit. Zach Sumption, a leadoff single up the middle. And now Alex Weaver, the tying run, is at the plate. Weaver grounded in with 6 unassisted, 3 double play back in the bottom of the second. That ended that inning. Coincidentally, Zach Sumption was on the base path as a part of that sequence. Downs looks to Sumption at first, and the first pitch to Weaver. He shows bunt. He drops it down the third base line. Newman comes in from third to field, and the throw to first is barely in time. A 5-3 sacrifice bunt allows Zach Sumption to take to scoring position, and that'll bring up the catcher, Ryan Schmidt. This is something to note, too. This is the first base runner the Hardhats have had that's made it past first to head to scoring position. This is a big moment for Post 22, trailing 2-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. Schmidt's first pitch, high and inside, 1-0. Schmidt's 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. And this is a 7-inning game, too, not a 9-inning game, so the Hardhats are running out of time here. 1-0 to Schmidt. Swung on and missed. The late swing, 1-1. Ball and a strike to count to Schmidt. Pitch swung on and missed. Again, another late swing. It's 1-2. From Downs to Schmidt. Mason Messenger on deck if Schmidt can't get the job done. 1-2 pitch. Caught him looking. Strike 3. And that is K number 4. And out number 2. Mason Messenger. Now steps in, 6 RBIs on the tournament. And with runners in scoring position on the tournament, is batting .400. First pitch, fastball upstairs, 1-0. If Messenger can keep the inning going and or knock in Zach Sumption, Connor King is on deck back at the top of the order. Downs from the stretch, looks to Sumption at second. 1-0, swung on and missed. 1-1 now to Messenger. Sumption on second with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. The Hardhats trailing 2-0. This is their best chance of the ball game to try and get a run across. 1-1 is a fastball low and away. 2 balls and a strike now to Messenger. Firecracker Championship game presented by Camping World. Right in front of us here. 2-1 pitch is hit high in the air, foul, and it goes onto the concourse. 2-2 now to Messenger. Downs from the stretch, looks to Sumption. 2-2 to Messenger. Just inside. And the count goes full. That was a tad bit too close for comfort. Downs looking for his 5th strikeout. It would end the scoring threat for the Hardhats. Payoff pitch. Swung on and just fouled by Messenger. And the count will hold full. 2 outs and a man on second here in the bottom of the 5th. The Hardhats, a narrow deficit to face, trailing 2-0. Downs looking for that 5th K. From the stretch, payoff number 2. Swung on, hit high in the air to right field, and coming in to make the catch was Cameron Cook. And that will end the threat. No runs on a hit, no errors charged to Wayne Newton, and a man stranded in scoring position. We've played 5 innings of baseball, and Post 22 still trails Wayne Newton by a 2-0 score. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the 6th. Connor Brown, Jason Mundell, and Will Kelly slated to hit after a minute on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. All set now for the top half of the 6th inning here at the Fitz, the 2018 Firecracker Tournament Showdown. The championship game between Wayne Newton, post 346 out of Terre Haute, Indiana, and the post 22 Hardhats. Dylan Ritchie back on the mound to start off his 6th inning in this start. His first pitch to Connor Brown will be number 70 in his effort. And here it comes. Swung on, chop foul, third base side. 0-1 to Brown, who's 0 for 2 on the championship game. Strikeout and a line out to center field. 2-0 is the Wayne Newton lead as we start off the top of the 6th. Mark Benetti alongside you on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. 0-1 pitch, also hit foul into the mesh. 0-2, Ritchie looking for that 4th strikeout and a second against Brown. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Wayne Newton. No runs, 3 hits, and an error for the Hardhats. Quick pitch maneuver. Should have been a called strike 3, but Brown called time. And it won't count. No balls, 2 strikes, and Ritchie's 0-2 is a breaking ball upstairs. 1-2. Connor Brown, Jason Mundell, Will Kelly slated to hit in this inning. Brown currently with a 1-2 count. Ritchie from the stretch goes full set, and 1-2. Caught him looking, strike 3. And there is K number 4 for Ritchie on the first out of the top of the 6th. Ritchie changed his delivery up. Instead of just taking his kick and moving, he did almost a Dontrell Willis and pulled all the way back and then threw. A great maneuver by Ritchie. It took Brown off guard. 1 up, 1 down brings up Jason Mundell. First pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air. Shallow right field. Sumption comes in from right. He's underneath it. Makes the catch. And that'll be out number 2. Mundell is now 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch, a run scored, and 2 flyouts to right. That'll bring up Will Kelly, who is 1 for 2 with a double, a run scored, and a flyout to center field. Top of the 6th, 2 outs, 2-0 is the Wayne Newton lead. Ritchie's first pitch to Kelly. Check swing. Did he go? There. Saying he went. Strike 1. 0-1 to Kelly. Looked like from back here he had gone. We didn't have any signal until Burt Reddy finally looked to Yogi Milslegel, and then he called it. Next pitch hit sky high in the air. Ryan Schmidt calls everybody off. He makes the catch, and that will end the top half of the 6th in 1-2-3 fashion, which, as we all know, means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. 5.5 out of 7 innings of baseball played. Post 22 still trails Wayne Newton 2-0. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the 6th and the top of the Hardhats order here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. For those Rapid City Rush fans tuning into today's championship broadcast, I have a slight feeling that we're going to announce a returning player tomorrow. So you'll have to head to all of our social media platforms, our team website. This returning player was a stalwart defenseman for the team. Finished the season with an A on his chest as a rookie, the assistant captaincy. He is a leader, he is a fantastic human being, and we cannot wait to have him back in the fold for Coach Tatro and the Rush. Bottom of the 6th, starting off, Connor King, Matt Hegre, Cooper Bowman at the top of the order, and King's first pitch is pushed opposite field and into left for a base hit. Connor King was 0 for 2. You can now chalk him up as 1 for 3. And now Matt Hegre comes up. He is the tying run in this ballgame. The Hardhats have 9 outs left in this showdown. 3 here in the bottom of the 6th, 3 in the top of the 7th, and then their final 3 to close in the bottom of the 7th. Heggery's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. First pitch, swung on, and it's just fouled. Chips away from home, 0-1 to Heggery. Connor King leads off with a single. His speed and his nifty base running now on the base path. 0-1 to Heggery. Fastball low and away, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Benji Downs still on the mound in his start for Wayne Newton, about to throw his 75th pitch. And the 1-1. Low and away, and it skips to the backstop, and Connor King's going to take second. And for the second time today, the Hardhats have a runner in scoring position. The wild pitch puts King in scoring position and gives Matt Heggery a 2-1 count. 2 balls and a strike. And here's the 2-1. Swung on and missed. Inside fastball, it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Heggery. King on second, no one out, bottom of the 6th. The Hardhats trail by 2. Next pitch, swung on, and it's chopped foul, third base side. And the count will hold even at 2-2. Connor King on second. Just waiting for an opportunity to cross and put the Hardhats on the board. 2-2 again to Heggery. Breaking ball, chopped foul again, and Heggery stays alive. Very exciting at bat right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, still the count. And Downs deals, high and away, ball 3. And the count goes full, a colossal payoff pitch for Matt Heggery. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. And Downs deals, swung on, and the ball's hit past the batter's mound. Downs gets the stop, throws it to first for the out. You might as well call that one a swinging bunt, as it allowed Connor King to advance to third. 1 out. The first Hardhats run of the ball game is 90 feet to the left of the last person you'd want to be throwing to in this situation, Cooper Bowman, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out to third. Bowman, a ton of options. He could walk to get on the base path. A base hit would knock in King. A sacrifice fly would also do the same. 1 out and a man 90 feet to his left here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch, breaking ball low and inside. 1-0 to Bowman. On the tournament, Bowman is batting .778 with runners in scoring position. Not a bad average. The 1-0 is a breaking ball in the outside corner, and that evens things up at a ball and a strike. Benji Downs pitching from the stretch against Bowman with Connor King on third and 1 out. 1-1, low and away, off the glove of Connor Brown, but King stays put on third. 2 balls and a strike to count now to Bowman. Jack Sorensen in the on-deck circle if Bowman should make anything happen. 2 balls and a strike. And the pitch. Called strike, a fastball in the outside corner, and it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count to Cooper Bowman with Connor King standing on third. 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Wayne Newton up 2-0. 2-2, swung on, hit right back up the middle. Downs checks to third, and the throw first is in time. Another 1-3 ground out. 2 down with King still on third, and that's going to bring up Jack Sorensen. Sorensen is 1 for 2. He had an infield single the last time he was up. Now the sacrifice fly, not an option. He needs a base hit or a wild pitch to help him out. King stands on third, and Downs will step off the rubber before he deals his first pitch to Sorensen. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. The Hardhats trail 2-0 here in the Firecracker Championship. First pitch, called strike. Off-speed pitch inside, it's 0-1. No balls and a strike to count. And the 0-1 from Downs. Check swing and a miss. They said he went 0-2. That was a breaking ball low. Sorensen couldn't pull the bat back in time. Next pitch will be number 88 from Downs. He is ready to throw it. 0-2 to Sorensen. Missed low and away on a fastball. It's 1-2. Post 22 fans are on the edge of their seats right now. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to right center field, and making the catch on the play is Jason Mundell, and that will end the bottom of the 6th. No runs on a hit, no errors charged to Wayne Newton, and a man stranded 90 feet from giving the Hardhats their first run of the ball game. We've played 6 out of 7 innings in this championship showdown. Post 22 still trails 2-0. We'll take a step aside and come back with the top of the 7th. Dylan Ritchie trying to go the distance in regulation here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. We're in the final inning of the championship showdown for the 2018 Firecracker Tournament presented by Camping World, the 43rd edition of this showcase of baseball on the 4th of July here in the Black Hills. Wade Newton, post 346 out of Terre Haute, Indiana, has a 2-0 lead over the Hardhats. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. Well, the Hardhats have no runs on 4 hits and an error through 6 innings of play. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. 9-1-2 scheduled to hit for Wayne Newton in the top half of the 7th. Dylan Ritchie's first pitch to Caleb Gonser is low and inside. 1-0. Gonser's 0 for 2. Pair of groundouts to short. One of them knocked in a run. Here's the 1-0. Called strike. Fastball right at his knees. 1-1. Ball and a strike to count from Ritchie to Gonser. And the pitch. Swung on, and it's ripped foul right in front of his team's dugout. 1-2. Ritchie's looking for that 5th strikeout of this start. Quick pitch. 1-2. Chopped. Third base high. That's a base hit. And it goes all the way into the corner. Weaver comes in from left to field it, and he gets his throw into Cooper Bowman over his head to Messenger. A leadoff double for Caleb Gonser right down the third baseline. Second extra base hit of the ball game for Wayne Newton, and that brings us back to the top of the order to Evan Newman, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a hit by pitch. Ritchie just threw his 80th pitch of the start. Looks to second at Gonser. First pitch. Breaking ball upstairs, 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Here in the top of the 7th with no one out, and the leadoff man standing on second with a double for Wayne Newton. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and fouled to the meshing behind home plate. 1-1. Ball and a strike to count now to Newman back at the top of the order for Wayne Newton. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and check swung foul, actually. 1-2. Ball sails into the concourse. Ball and 2 strikes to Newman. Ritchie looking for that elusive 5th strikeout. 1-2 pitch. Misses low and outside. Schmidt gets the block, and it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Ritchie could really use that strikeout right now. No outs and a man standing on second. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball high and inside. And the count goes full to Newman. Ritchie's only walked 1 in the start, but he's hit 3. Hoping to avoid a second walk. Ritchie looks to second. Payoff pitch. Missed low and away. Ball 4. And he issues a walk to Newman. It puts men on first and second with no one out. That'll bring up Brigham Boo, excuse me. Brigham Boo is 0 for 3. Pop out to short. Unassisted ground out to first. Grounded into a fielder's choice. Ritchie looks around the diamond. First pitch to Boo. Swung on. Ball is pushed opposite field. Messenger, the diving stop at second. Throw to first is in time. What a clutch defensive play by Mason Messenger to ensure the ball didn't get through to not allow a run to come across. 4-3 in the book. One down, but now 2 men in scoring position. That'll bring up Cameron Cook, the right fielder. 1 for 2 with a walk, a single, and a reach on an error. The infield is in. All 4 are on the fringe, trying to prevent the run coming home. Ritchie, first pitch. Swung on and missed on a breaking ball inside. 0-1 to Cook. The infield's in. 1 out, top of the 7th. The Hardhats are down 2-0. 2 men are in scoring position here for Cook. Wayne Newton trying to blow it open and add some insurance. 0-1 pitch. Shows bunt. Called strike on a breaking ball. And it's 0-2 now to Cook. This would be the perfect time for Ritchie to get that 5th strikeout. 0-2. He's in the driver's seat against Cook. From the stretch. 0-2 pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit to second by Messenger's glove and into right. 1 run's going to come in and score. Sumption gets the throw to home. Another run coming in, and this throw is not in time. A 2-run RBI single for Cameron Cook. And Wayne Newton now has a 4-0 lead here in the final inning with 1 out in the top of the 7th of this championship showdown. It went right by Messenger's glove by maybe an inch, if that. So close. And now here comes Benji Downs, the pitcher, with a man on first and 1 out. Downs, 1 for 2. Singled, grounded into a double play, was hit by a pitch. And he rips his first pitch, foul, right field side. 0-1. Well, the task for the Hardhats became that much harder coming into the bottom half of this 7th. They are trailing 4-0 now. Only runs have been scored twice in this ball game. 2 runs in each of the innings in which it's happened, both of them belonging to Wayne Newton post 346. No balls in to strike the count here to Downs. Looking to keep this train rolling for Wayne Newton. Ritchie hoping for the double play ball. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball called strike inside. 0-2. 1 out in the top of the 7th. 2 runs have been plated by Wayne Newton. It is a 4-0 lead over post 22. Ritchie sets. 0-2 to Downs. Missed low on a breaking pitch. It's 1-2. Post 22 will have Caldwell, Sumption, and Weaver due up in the bottom half of this inning when we get there. Still 2 outs to register here. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's ripped right to Hegre. Throw to first in time. An L5-3 double play, and that will end the top half of the 7th. 2 runs on a pair of hits, no errors to the Hardhats. No one left on the base path. The Hardhats are down to their final 3 outs. Wayne Newton post 346 has a 4-0 lead in the 2018 Firecracker Championship Showdown presented by Camping World. We'll take a step aside and come right back with Jace Caldwell, Zach Sumption, and Alex Weaver, barring any substitutions, here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Dylan Ritchie went the distance in regulation for post 22. His counterpart, Benji Downs, also trying to do the same. Wayne Newton post 346 has a 4-0 lead over the Hardhats in the Firecracker Championship. The final 3 outs for post 22 to try and either keep the game going or to end it in thrilling fashion against Wayne Newton once again. Thank you again so much for joining us for this 4th of July broadcast of Post 22 Baseball. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and on Hardhats-TV. Caldwell's first pitch right to Newman at third, and his throw to first is in time. And the Hardhats, just in the blink of an eye, are down to 2 outs. The bottom of the 7th of this championship showdown. Caldwell potentially finishes the game 0 for 3. That brings up Sumption, who's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. Hardhats down to their final 2 outs here in the championship. And Downs will step off the rubber for 2 seconds and think about it. First pitch to Sumption. Called, strike. Breaking ball inside. It's 0-1. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Wayne Newton. No runs, 4 hits, and an error for the Hardhats. Next pitch, a fastball low and away. Swung on and missed. 0-2 to Sumption. Downs has 4 strikeouts. Number 5 would put his team an out away from the title. 0-2, fouled off. Post 22 won the first matchup, 13-12 on a walk-off. Wayne Newton trying to avenge that loss. 0-2 pitch. Caught him looking, strike 3. Strikeout number 5 for Downs. The Hardhats down to their last out. And the hero from that last matchup, Alex Weaver, is tasked with keeping this game going. Empty base path and 2 outs for Weaver. There's 0 for 1 with a double play and a sacrifice bunt. First pitch hit high in the air to left. Will Kelly is underneath it. Shades his eyes, makes the catch, and that's going to do it. Wayne Newton, post 346, has won the Firecracker Championship 4-0 over post 22. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on for the Hardhats in that final inning. For the second time this season, post 22 shut out of a baseball game. And for the 8th time, they dropped the decision. Wayne Newton, 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors. And for the Hardhats, no runs on 4 hits with 1 error. Benji Downs only needed 6 pitches to get out of the inning, a 7-inning, 6-hit, complete game shutout of the Hardhats. He struck out 5 in the effort and only managed to walk 1. Flawless for Downs. Dylan Ritchie on the other side, he went 7 innings. Allowed 4 runs on 6 hits. All runs were earned. He walked only 1. Excuse me, he only walked 2. But he hit 3. And he struck out 4 on 94 pitches. Wayne Newton, post 346 out of Terre Haute, Indiana. They take the win over post 22. 4-0 for the Firecracker Championship. Very well contested game, as we all thought, by both sides. But this time, Wayne Newton exacts revenge. Folks, we'll take a step aside. When we come back, we'll recap the ball game, sign off, and say so long. You're on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. We'll be right back after this. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Post 22 showdown against Wayne Newton, post 346 out of Terre Haute, Indiana, for the 2nd time in the Firecracker tournament. Post 22 won the first matchup in group stage play, 13-12 on a walk-off, but they have fallen in this championship rematch 4-0 to Wayne Newton, post 346. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us, not only for today's championship broadcast on the 4th of July, but throughout the entire 2018 Firecracker Tournament presented by Camping World. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. While it was a 4-0 win for Wayne Newton, this was a highly contested baseball game from start to finish. Both teams had an opportunity in the first inning with runners on to try and make something happen. The Hardhats had a man on first. Wayne Newton had men on the corners, but both teams after the first inning left deadlocked at 0. We got to the second, and that's where Wayne Newton really took off with the game. They scored 2 runs on 2 hits. After Dylan Ritchie struck out Connor Brown to get his first K of the inning, he hit his next batter and then surrendered a double to Will Kelly. 2 men on the base path in scoring position. Caleb Gonser has an RBI groundout. Evan Newman an RBI single with 2 outs. That gave Wayne Newton a 2-0 lead. The Hardhats could not convert in the bottom of the second as Alex Weaver hit into a 6 unassisted 3 double play to cut the inning short. And then both teams traded blows back and forth, but nothing could happen. In the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings, no runs were scored, but post 22 had an opportunity in the bottom half of the 5th after stranding Wayne Newton with the bases loaded to try and make something happen. Zach Sumption led off with a single and was sacrificed over to second, but then Ryan Schmidt struck out. Mason Messenger flew out to right, and the Hardhats were unable to get a run across with their first man in scoring position all game in the bottom of the 5th. We go to the 6th. Wayne Newton went down 1-2-3 thanks to the 4th strikeout from Dylan Ritchie in the start. Post 22 got a leadoff single from Connor King, and a wild pitch advanced him to second. Matt Hegre grounded out past the mound. It was practically a swinging bunt that moved King over to third. So you had the first run of the ball game for post 22, 90 feet from home with 1 out. Cooper Bowman grounded out to the mound. Jack Sorensen flew out to center field. And again, what could have been the first and only run of the ball game for the Hardhats was stranded 90 feet from home. We get to the 7th. Top of this final inning of the game, Caleb Gonser leads off with a double. Evan Newman walks. It's men on first and second. Brigham Boo grounds out to second. A nice diving stop by Mason Messenger. Yes, it sent the runners to second and third, but Messenger prevented the ball from squeaking right by him to ensure that a run came in. So it's men on second and third with 1 out. The infield's in, and Cameron Cook hits a ball an inch past the diving glove of Messenger, opposite field and into right. 2 runs come in to score, and it would be 4-0 Wayne Newton. Benji Downs lined into a double play at third, which ended the inning quickly for post 22 and sent them to the sticks one last time. But Jace Caldwell, Zach Sumption, and Alex Weaver on 6 pitches in the frame went down 1-2-3, and that ended the ball game. Wayne Newton takes the 2018 Firecracker Championship. With the loss, post 22's record now goes to 35-8. This weekend, starting at 5 o'clock on Saturday, they will welcome in the reigning American Legion State Champions, Pier Post 8, into town for a doubleheader. And then after that, Post 22 will take off for the Gopher Classic in Minneapolis. Should be a fun week of baseball next week. That'll do it for us for our broadcast from the 2018 Firecracker Tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for joining us all week long for Firecracker Tournament festivities. Who would have thought 43 years ago when Coach Plouffe put this tournament together that it would become the spectacle that it is. This was a fantastic tournament, a highly contested game to fight for the title. Wayne Newton, post 346, they are a first-class organization through and through. We've had a chance to speak with their coaching staff. We've had a chance to watch how their players conducted themselves throughout this entire tournament. And for anybody from Wayne Newton still listening to this broadcast right now on Hardhats-TV, you have so much to be proud of with your team and how your club held themselves the entire week. True competitors, an incredibly talented baseball club, and classy first class from start to finish. So thank you for not only coming out and participating in the tournament, but for adding so much positivity to the festivities. That'll do it for us, folks. We will be back on the air this Saturday just before our 5 o'clock start of the doubleheader against Pier Post 8 For all of us with the Post 22 organization, from the general manager Wayne Sullivan to the head coach Calvin Torvey and company, as well as our good friends at Haugo Broadcasting, Chris Haugo and Ian Rambo of ESPN Rapid City, this is Mark Benetti saying so long. Enjoy your 4th of July, and we'll see you Saturday when the defending state champs come to town.